Um, Today I think I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Instead of talking about things that piss me off, that are more work related, I'm going to talk about things that piss me off a little more globally, I think. Um, in my head, I was going to approach this in a more rational way, but the more I think about it, the more I'm just going to go ranting off about this. Because this is very close to my heart. And as we all know, the more passionate I am about something, the more angry and vicious and, well, passionate I get. So, I guess this is a little bit my response to that Nicole Arbour video about depression and how she cured herself. You know, good job. Voodoo and witchcraft, whatnot. Good for you, girl. This is also a little bit about how 1 in 4 people are affected by mental health, and yet nobody talks about it. So we're going to sit here today. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk all about it. This is going to be really fun. You guys are probably going to learn a little bit more about me than you bargained for. But considering half the internet has seen me naked, I figured it's about time you learned about how crazy I am. So we're going to get to know each other today. For starters, Nicole, there is such a thing called situational depression. Very different than clinical depression. Very different than being born with depression or born with a chemical imbalance in your brain that causes a whole whack of other shit that is super fun and keeps life interesting. So situational depression is exactly what it sounds like. It is something that has happened to you that has made you upset, sad. It has maybe thrown your life a little off course. You don't know what to do. You're overwhelmed. Things can include car accidents where an injury has occurred. Maybe you've lost a pregnancy, divorce, loss of a family member, an injury that causes you to no longer be a cheerleader on some football team, you know, things like that. So usually what doctors do is they can prescribe you something to help you get over that sort of bump in your life. For those people that choose not to be medicated for that period of time, completely your call. You can absolutely choose to kind of kick your own ass in gear. Self-help books, sticky notes, change of attitude, exercise, better diet, you know what I mean? Surround yourself with positive people and kind of tell yourself to get the fuck over it, basically. I mean, obviously that doesn't apply for every situation, but there are definitely things that you can do to sort of reset yourself and put yourself back on track, for lack of better terms. And then there are the types of depression where you're born with it, or you're born with a chemical imbalance in your brain, such as myself, where you have no fucking control. It happens, it comes, it goes, it comes at very awkward times, very inconvenient times, I find. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So basically, I am currently 25 years old, and I have been literally depressed for as long as I can remember. I'm very antisocial. I do not enjoy the company of others. I find it really draining. For those that don't know, I do have borderline personality disorder, which, by the way, despite popular belief, is not a chemical imbalance in the brain. BPD is something you can develop all on your own without even realizing it. You just kind of like wake up one day. Surprise! The brain is seriously an amazing fucking thing. So anyways, with the chemical imbalance, there are so many ways that the chemicals in your brain can be imbalanced. And there are so many different medications that can help with only so many types of imbalances, so many different combinations. What is really difficult is finding the right medicine for the right imbalance. And of course, doctors usually say you'll start to feel the effects within 1 to 2 weeks. You'll start to feel the full effects in about 3 months. So that's usually the time frame that you want to give a medicine before you start judging the medicine if it's right for you or not. Obviously, if you start having like super negative side effects, get the fuck off that shit, go find your doctor, right? Now, what's really difficult is there's so much stigma going on about being on meds, being off meds. People think that being on meds makes us very weak. It really doesn't. It actually takes a lot of patience. For example, there are a lot of people, I mean, it can take years to find the right medication for you. And you might sound like you have the same symptoms as your BFF, but if her chemical imbalance is just slightly different than yours, she could need a whole new medicine group to try out. And that can be really frustrating for patients. There are a lot of people with depression that they don't end up making it through all the trial and errors of finding the right medication. And what I mean by that is they commit suicide before they even find the right medication because it can take so long. It's really a hit or miss. The doctor, I mean, you describe what you're feeling to him and he tries his best, and sometimes he gets it wrong, and that's not his fault. We don't know enough about the human brain. And without people being okay to talk about this stuff publicly, we, the people that live with depression, don't learn the proper terms, the proper tools to be able to describe what is going on inside of us. If I cannot describe to myself or to you what I'm feeling in my brain, I can't describe that to a professional. If I can't describe that in as best detail as I can to a professional, he can't help me. So it is really important that if somebody is trying to open up to you about their depression, encourage it. Sit the fuck down, shut your fucking mouth, and encourage them by listening. Even if you don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. All you need to say is, go on. And if that's too much for you, just sit there silently and say, I'm still listening. That's all it takes. Honestly, you don't need to be a therapist for us. Sometimes we just need to hear our own thoughts out loud. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. That's all it takes. Also, this whole stigma about medication and taking self-care days. If you think of it like this, think of it as you are on a rugby team with a broken leg. You've got a cast on your leg, and you show up to the game, and you're trying your best, and you are failing fucking miserably because you have a goddamn cast on your leg. The fuck are you doing on the field? Okay, so now you've got people in the bleachers yelling at you like, the fuck are you doing? You have a broken leg. Get the fuck off the field, you freaking moron. So you get off the field. And next week there's another game, and you know, the cast is still on your leg, so you're going to stay home. People forget that you have a cast on your leg. They haven't seen you in a week, and you know, whatever, people's lives are busy, blah, blah, blah. So you sit that game out. Well, now you've got people calling you. Where the fuck are you? You're letting us down. We're depending on you. We needed you for this game. What's wrong with you? Well, I've got a cast on your leg. Well, I haven't seen you in a week. Fucking prove it to me. Well, like, I'm at home. I can't just like come out of bed and, you know, like show you. Like, I got a cast on my leg, dude. Like, the fuck? So, I mean, this might not be the best example, so bear with me. I didn't prepare a proper speech or anything. But that's kind of what mental health is like. Like, we're told that everything is all in our head. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It is all in our head. That is the whole point. You can't see it. I can't see it. My doctor can't see it. Nobody can fucking see it but me. Not even me. But I know it's there. So When I'm feeling bad, I'm told, take a self-care day, take a day to yourself, you know, maybe have a bath, stay in bed, blah, blah, blah. And I do. And then I'm told it's all in my head, so maybe you should go see a head doctor. Okay, fine. I will go see my family doctor. I'll go see a therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist. I don't fucking know. I'll go see somebody that deals with heads. And then I get put on meds. And then, well, you don't need meds. It's all in your head. What's wrong with you? Well, you said it was all in my head, so I went to a head doctor, and the head doctor gave me meds for my head, and now you're telling me it's all in my head, and I didn't need the head doctor because it's all in my head? Like, what the fuck do you want from me? I'm doing the best that I can. You told me to see a head for the head, and now I'm wrong? For one, if you've never suffered with actual depression, shut the fuck up. Honestly, you have no idea what it is like. And just a little tiny bit of insight for you. Depression doesn't care who you are, where you come from, what you have or don't have. Depression doesn't care what race you are, what gender, what sexuality. It doesn't fucking care. Okay? I have a boyfriend who fucking adores me. And I have 2 beautiful little sleeping puppers that are the cutest goddamn animals in the motherfucking world. And I live in a house where I can do whatever the fuck I want because my landlord is cool as shit. Literally. And I have, you know, his family has accepted me. Like, the first day they met me, accepted me as if I was already, like, married to their son. Like, they are so supportive. I know I have a good life. I do not need to be reminded about the good life that I have. I know I'm blessed or lucky or I don't fucking know, enchanted or whatever you want to call it. I know that. I am aware of that. Depression doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't. Depression is being at the beach with your friends, and it's a gorgeous sunny day. It's perfect temperature. The wind is, you know, just right. And somebody's telling a funny joke, so you're all laughing your asses off. And all of a sudden, you feel like somebody has taken a baseball and chucked it right through your fucking ribs. And all of a sudden, this feeling just washes over you. Like, you all of a sudden just feel red hot right through you. Kind of like that feeling you get when you're watching a horror movie, just like this like red hot flash. And in that split second, you remember. So your smile stops. And the sounds around you kind of, it's like you're underwater for a second. Like, all the sounds just kind of fade a little bit. And that's when you remember, I'm a piece of shit. Why the fuck am I here? I don't deserve to be out here with my friends right now. Like, I don't even deserve these friends. Like, why did I even bother coming? I fucking hate myself. I don't deserve the sun. I don't deserve this beach. I fucking hate myself. I am a piece of shit. I honestly should have fucking killed myself all those years ago. But honestly, like, you wanna know why I didn't? Because I'm too much of a fucking pussy. Depression doesn't care if you're having fun. Depression doesn't care if you're having a really good time. Depression doesn't care who you're with, who you're around, what you're doing. It doesn't give a fuck. It'll hit you like a brick wall. It doesn't care. And no amount of sticky notes around your house, no amount of self-affirmation is ever going to make depression care. Even being on meds wear off. Surprise! Who knew? I finally found a med that was working for me. And now I have to switch because it's worn off and I'm at my max dose. Great. I was finally starting to feel like an actual fucking human. And now I get to go trial and error again. Fucking awesome. You don't think that I would fix this if I could? You don't think I would literally sell my soul to the fucking devil if I could feel normal for like a day? Not even a day, just give me like 8 hours. Just let me go to work. Let me go work a retail job and feel like a normal fucking person in the brain and see what it's like. Just let me do that. That'd be pretty cool. How dare any of you say that people suffering with depression are weak because we need medicine? How dare you say that we're weak because we live in messy houses, or we stay in bed, or, you know, we shower every other day, God forbid. How fucking dare you? You do not know how hard it is to do the simplest of things some days. You really don't. When you've got a voice in your head screaming at you, telling you that you're a piece of shit, and that if you stay in this bed long enough, eventually you'll shrivel away to nothing, and then you've got another voice in your head saying, yeah, that's a good idea. How do you fight that? You can't even fight for yourself at that point. You've got both sides of your brain saying, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's stay here until we die. Who's on your team? You're not even on your own team. Do you even have a team? I don't think so. I really don't think so. We're not weak. The fact that we're still alive means that we put up with way more shit than you could ever handle. And for those of us that have fallen, they are a testament to those that have failed us. There is a lot of work that needs to be done as far as mental health is concerned. For one, talking about it needs to become dinner conversation. It needs to become so normal that it's no longer taboo. I have depression. There were days, a couple summers ago, maybe it was last summer, my boyfriend would not leave me alone. Not even for an hour. Because that's how bad I was. This is what we need to talk about. You blame people for committing suicide. What do you do to help them? You don't talk to them. And you know what? I'm sorry. But all these fucking Facebook statuses about my door's always open, coffee can be put on, if you ever need to talk, you're all full of shit. You want to know how I know? Because I have posted things saying that I needed help and that I was on my floor crying and I don't know what to do. And I've even posted pictures of myself on the floor crying. Not one of you has ever said, what's your address? I'm coming to get you. Not one of you has ever messaged me and said, I'm on my way. And honestly, when everybody posts shit like that, it is the biggest slap in the face that I've ever experienced. And I was married to a very abusive man, so I know all about those. You don't mean it. You want to mean it. You want to mean it. You want it to look like you mean it. You're the biggest problem of all. You act like you care. You act like you want to help us. And when you see us posting online that we need help, where the fuck are you? Sending good vibes, praying for you. The fuck does that do? I mean, I got good vibes too. I got lots of good vibes. They don't help cure my depression. Believe it or not. I mean, my boyfriend's family is very religious. I'm sure they pray for me all the time. Here I am. Not cured. And all these, you know, I bet only 1% of my friends will repost because, you know, Suicide Awareness Week. Suicide happens more than just once a week in a year, you know. If you want to actually help people with depression, listen to them. Be proactive. When you see somebody in trouble, stop and talk to them. You have no idea how many people could have been saved if somebody had smiled at them, made them feel visible for a split second. When you're walking down the street, it sounds so fucking cliche, but I have read so much from people that have left us. When you're walking down the street, say good morning. That's it. That's it. When you see somebody standing on the side of the road or at the edge of a bridge looking down, ask them how they're doing. Start up a conversation. Beautiful view, isn't it? A lot of people feel invisible, especially those that have depression, because you make us feel invisible. You act like you care. You act like you are going to be our heroes. You're the worst villains of all. I think that's where I'm going to leave it for now. If anybody wants to leave anything in the comments, I will gladly make a video and follow up.